Alright, so Catharsis by Sven Väth, his newest album, which came out in February 2022. And this is the first solo album he's put out since, I would think, Contact in 2000. So almost, well, 22 years. I mean, almost 22 years. So, anyways, all I can say is that I've listened to this album and it's amazing. One of a kind album. It's a 13-track album. It's co-produced with Gregor Trescher. Trescher is, I may be saying it wrong, but the last name of Gregor is Tresher. He's a DJ producer and label, music label owner from Frankfurt, Germany, and so Sven Väth produced this new album together with Gregor Trescher. You can check out Gregor on gregortrescher.com. That's his official site. So let's get back to the album, Sven Väth Catharsis. Catharsis. What is catharsis? It's, let's see, the definition: the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. As in, example, music is a means of catharsis for them. And as you know, Sven Väth has been around the Frankfurt scene, trance house, techno, since the 80s. And this new album that he put out is very good, in my opinion. I mean, I was surprised at how well the album has been produced. It starts off with what I used to play, and it's a great house beat, which has little tinges of trance. You know how the house beat becomes hypnotic, and then there's a second layer on top of the house beat that becomes like a trance, almost trance-like combination. So in this song, what I used to play, he talks about his DJing. I would think what he DJs at his cocoon parties, and since 2000 he's been putting out like every year, like a mix of his cocoon parties and songs that he's playing at the party. And so it's kind of like a homage to all of his followers and people that love Sven Väth. So it's kind of like a homage, like a beloved song that he put together for kind of like he's talking through the song and giving, that he's been through so many years of different mutations in this techno music, and has put out album upon album, and so this is like his way of saying, this is what I'm playing right now. This is my personal album that everyone has waited for at least 20 years. I mean, it's 2022, so I mean, the last album that I know of that he put out was Contact in 2000. So, so the album is mostly instrumental. There are some songs that have lyrics in it, and that's great. The second song on the album, "The Worm," is instrumental, but I mean, when people when you're DJing and you put a song before a really good song, like you put down a song that complements the next song. So in my personal view, I think "The Worm," the second song off the album, is that kind of song. It's 7 minutes and 2 seconds long, and it sets up the third song, which is "The Inner Voice," which is amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful 6 minute 17-second song, and it kind of transitions into from "The Worm" into "The Inner Voice," and you could almost say that "The Inner Voice" is "The Worm." It's just a continuation into the third song. It's like you you can't exactly hear the worm in the Worm song, but "The Inner Voice," you can kind of hear like this worm crawling underground, and in it's also an instrumental track, "The Inner Voice," but it's 10 times better than "The Worm." So from what I'm trying to say is that "The Worm" is like not a filler track, but it's like it's a song that he put in front of "The Inner Voice" to make the "Inner Voice" sound really good. So after that, the fourth song, "Catharsis," sounds really like a tribal beat, very I would say very earthy, and it sounds really good. It's also instrumental, but it's as good as "The Inner Voice." And then after "Catharsis," there's Farron, which is okay. You can hear some vocals on number 5. All right, so with Sven Väth, as he was DJing across the world, going to different countries, different cities, he with this the next song, which is "Mystic Voices," it's one of the singles that he put out before he put out the album. And apparently he's been playing some of these songs off the album during his DJ sets. And so this is one. "Mystic Voices" is like a really clubby song that any DJ could put into their mix and it would sound amazing. The way it came about is I think I read here on his Bandcamp's site that when he was DJing in India, East India, that he had like some ideas for his new album, which he was co-writing with Gregor Trusher, and so "Mystic Voices" is a song that he had inspiration when he was DJing, going around in the country of India, East India, and it's really good. It's amazing. It's 8 minutes long, and it's kind of a trance like house. It has house beats, a break beat, right? But then it kind of goes up into like a trance state of just this amazing. Can you just imagine this song playing at a nightclub where it just builds, and it's hypnotic, and everyone's like, "Oh, dancing, dancing!" And anyways, that's Mystic Voices. Um, and then after that, Being in Love is kind of a song that it's a good song. It's kind of a house song, which it's instrumental as well, but it's not as intense as Mystic Voice. It's kind of the song that you would put after one of those really club bangers, one of those boom, boom, boom. But Being in Love is kind of a like, all right, we gotta settle down after that last song. So that's the kind of song Being in Love is, and that kind of wraps up the first half of Catharsis, the album. The second half of the album starts off with Buto, Butoh, and that's another song that he was inspired, while he was DJing in Japan on one of the islands in Japan. I think Nippon or something like that, or I can't think of the island that he was at, but when he was DJing in Japan, he wanted to create a song that kind of it sounds like the Japanese dance scene, and so there's actual Japanese lyrics in Buto, and he contacted once again Gregor Thresher, and once he came back, to Frankfurt, or he sat down with Gregor, and they created this song Buto, Butoh, and that, out of all the songs on the album, Mystic Voices and Buto are amazing. I mean, those two songs in themselves can carry the whole album. But the album is so good that there's other great songs. And with that said, Nix, song number 9, is kind of a minimal techno beat inspired song, similar to like Richie Houghton, or Plastic Man from Calgary. Well, I think he's from Calgary. He's from Canada, but I'm pretty sure he's from Calgary. Maybe Richie Houghton is from Toronto. Well, I can't think of. I'm not sure exactly. He's just on the east coast of Canada, and Richie Houghton is one of the minimal techno pioneers from the early '90s and late '80s. Anyways, so Nix is that type of song, a minimal techno song, and it does have. I think it has lyrics. I can't. Yeah, it does. It does. And it's all right. It's okay. It's really good. I enjoyed it. The next song number 10, is an ambient song, and it's called "The Cranes of Gangte Valley." And first of all, the name of that song is just amazing. Cranes are beautiful birds, and as you're listening to this very down tempo ambient song, you can just imagine the cranes are like flying around, maybe making a nest on a chimney on a house, or they're swimming around. Not swimming. Oh my gosh, flying in the swampy area. It's a very beautiful 4-minute track, and as a matter of fact, it's the shortest track on the album. 4 minutes. clocking in at 4 minutes. And I think that's what makes Sven Väth so popular, because he tries to bend the rules of what he can put on his albums. He goes for the house and trance songs, but he's not afraid to put right in the middle of his, or closer to the end of his album, just an ambient song, and it does very well. I mean, the song is very, very relaxing, and there you can hear some piano playing, and it's really good. The song after the Cranes of Gangte Valley is "We Are," and this is where he starts singing in English again, and but very minimal singing. He's not even singing. He's just like saying stuff, So, and it's we are the thoughts that create us. The thoughts that are within our mind create us, and we are. So it's a good song, but it's a little bit repetitive. I don't like it that much. But then song number 12 is Sylvie's Dream, which is apparently written for Sven Väth's girlfriend, and apparently her name is Sylvie. It's another ambient song, which is 4 minutes and 42 seconds long. And it's a really nice house poppy track that just fits well in the album, right where it's at. Then song number 13 that ends the album, Penta Ray. Penta Ray is kind of a cleansing, cleansing of your senses, of all the music that you just heard. Yeah, it's an ambient track. You can hear like slow flow of a river, or like a small stream that's playing in the song, and it kind of reminds me of similar to Moby's debut album, the self-entitled Moby album, where the last track on the album is kind of very you can hear beats, but very, very ambient, like slow track. But this is a little bit different. It's almost like he recorded a river up in the mountains in East India, or maybe Japan. Japan has beautiful mountain areas, and he recorded that, and on top of that he just layered some sounds, and it's a beautiful track to that actually cleanses your soul, cleanses your body. And after listening to some of these tracks that are really club-like, dance orientated, but Penta Ray is more of like a ambient song from a Brian Eno album, or maybe The Orb, right? So that's what closes the album, and I have to say this, I'm thoroughly impressed with this latest album, and I'm pretty sure that Gregor Thresher had a lot to do with it, because he's from a younger generation. He's in the same music scene, like trance, techno music, but along with Sven Väth and his inspirational thoughts and his his. I think they worked really well together. I've noticed that a lot of these older music producers, like for instance Pet Shop Boys, they always link up with a younger generation that is in this music scene, and they collaborate on a song, or in this case, they collaborate on an entire album. Likewise, Sven Väth, he collaborated with Gregor Trescher, and the outcome is amazing. This album is so much better than Contact, I think. Although I do like some songs from Contact, and they've grown on me. But I can tell you right now that the first time I heard this album, I truly love more than half of the songs on the album. It's, at first listen. And that's not what I felt like when I listened to Contact the first time around. I was kind of disappointed with Contact. But over the years, Contact has kind of grown on me, and I do like the album more. And but this Catharsis is truly a tour de force album by Sven Väth, and it kind of like it ties into everything that he's done so far. At least that's what he's trying to convey with this album, that he's done so many different albums, so many different singles. He's DJ'd, for multiple years. I mean, over 20 years. Well, more since the 80s. So, my point is that this really, if you would pick up this album not knowing who Sven Väth is, it's a good album to start off with, and then maybe you can look at the back catalog and listen to his other albums. But this album is very friendly in regards to listening to it for the first time, and it's not like it's not out there, like some albums. Some DJs like to, and producers like to stretch their imagination so far that the people that listen to them are kind of alienated. But this is truly an album which any a fan of Sven Väth, or someone that hasn't heard Sven Väth before, would really enjoy. And so, with that said, I'm gonna give this album a 9.2 out of 10 rating, because it is by far one of the best albums I've heard from him in a very long time. And the album cover is really interesting too. He's like on Mars, or some kind of moon planet, or planet, altogether, or in the desert, and he's kind of sitting there with his hands up in the air and his eyes closed, and he's kind of like cleansing his body and soul with the surroundings and with the sounds of this album. Who knows? Maybe but the album cover is really amazing, as you can see, right? Or probably I should point in this direction. So tell me what you think about this new album by Sven Väth Catharsis. It might be one of the last albums that he makes, but hopefully not. I hope he'll be around for many more decades. He is reaching. He's in his late 50s, so he's getting kind of old. But but he knows how to party, and he knows how to make the music, and he knows how to DJ. He's just a party animal, and a very integral part of the Frankfurt techno trance scene. And he's, like I said before in reviewing his other albums, he's been an integral part, and I'm pretty sure he'll be an integral part for many years to come. He lives in London right now. He's had a house, or he's lived on Ibiza, and of course he started in Frankfurt, but he's been there from the very beginning, and he's propelled the dance scene, techno scene, more than any other artist that I can imagine. I mean, there's so many other artists, right? But he was there, and from the very beginning, and he's respected by many, and respected by me too. I mean, he's amazing. So this new album is just it's just gorgeous. It's the sounds that you hear on it. It has club beats. It has ambient music. And it's 13 songs, and most of the songs are very long, and that's nice. And it's a collaboration with Gregor Thresher. So, anyways, I think I've talked long enough, but check it out and let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next review. Bye.